You're in for a special treat today because we are going to be talking with a guy that is one of the few in the industry that understands data as well as he does and gets to see the entire spectrum of real estate. I mean, like, this guy has his finger on the pulse of real estate investors all over the country because his company runs a vast majority of their websites. He gets to see in the back office what's going on and where the leads are coming from, what kind of leads they are, who's actually really doing deals. And Trevor is a really good friend of mine. He runs a company called Carrot, Investor Carrot Websites. But on this podcast, we're going to be talking about how COVID-19 or coronavirus is affecting real estate investors and how to pivot your message to get more leads. And I'm excited to have Trevor on here. But first, I want to mention, guys, my book. This podcast is brought to you by two things today. Number one, my book, Wholesaling Lease Options. Discover one of the fastest and easiest ways to make money in real estate today. You can get this book for free at WLObook.com, WLObook.com. And the book is free, but if you want the audio book, you can get it just for $1.99 at WLOaudio.com, WLOaudio.com. Check that out. The other thing, I have three sponsors. Is that okay if I over-deliver? Just kidding. I got another sponsor here because I like carrots and I like Trevor. I've liked Trevor for a long, long time. He's got a great company. I'll talk more about this later on in the podcast. But if you want to go check out Investor Carrot websites, go to joelikescarrots.com. I've been recommending people to Carrot for years, since it started, probably 5-6 years now or more. And so I'm glad that I'm proud to recommend Trevor because he's a friend. I've known him for years, and he's a good dude. He really is. So let's just bring him on, shall we? Enough of this. Oh, yeah, by the way, a lot of you guys are watching this right now live on Facebook and YouTube. So if you would, please type in the comments and say hello. Just say hello. Tell us where you're watching this from. And as we go through this, if you have questions, please type them in the comments, either in YouTube or Facebook, and I will bring them up here and we can mention them or ask them to Trevor. So let's bring Trevor on. Trevor, how are you, my man?
Joe, doing great, dude. And I appreciate, like I said, appreciate hopping on here with you. I think last time we saw each other was down in Napa. Got to hang out. Now we're all stuck in our houses.
Man, that was so fun. Are you still doing another Amplify Mastermind this year? Have you?
We are, dude. I don't know if you got the email. You should have, but we're supposed to be in July in Philadelphia, but we'll see. We'll see how the world is at that point. Yep.
I forgot to respond.
You're good.
We're talking about that offline.
Man, always.
How are things at Carrot?
Things are good. Like we were talking before here, I think all of us, no matter what business we're in, have been impacted in some way in the past month. And whether it's the location that we're working now versus where we were working before, or like you said, whether it's the flexibility we have, we can't go to the coffee shop and get work in, or whether our businesses actually took a hit. Here at Carrot, we took a little bit of a dip, which I'll show you guys some really cool data that's applicable to all real estate investors and agents. But then we saw things rise back up because people were seeing the opportunity, and you should not pull back marketing. It's where you should be doubling down. So it's an interesting time, to say the least, man, for sure, to be an entrepreneur.
So tell us what Carrot does for people that don't know.
Yeah, so at a very high level, Carrot, we help high level real estate investors and now agents control the conversation online. So and get more leads. We work with a lot of the biggest investors in the country. Gabriel Garcia is just one that popped up in my mind, a big investor out of Florida. They just moved everything over to our system from a custom site. And we essentially help people get in front of the highest motivated leads and prospects, mostly sellers, but buyers too, of houses, of land online. We help you convert them at a higher rate. And then we have content marketing tools to help you stand out. And that's kind of our bread and butter, man, is how do we help you stand out, build authority locally, and get more of the best leads.
Very nice. I don't know what's going on. We were supposed to be broadcasting to Facebook and YouTube right now, but it doesn't look like it's working. But we're still recording this, so we're still good.
Cool.
But normally we got a bunch of people in here commenting and saying, hey, what's going on? And we don't today. So
we're good, man.
I'm a little embarrassed. Like nobody watches this podcast. That's what you probably don't think, that like nobody watches this show.
We're good, man.
Yeah, actually, it shows zero viewers right now, but I swear there are more people than that watch us.
I'm just pumped to be on here with you, dude, for sure.
All right. Yeah, we got millions and billions of podcast listeners. No. All right. So you do more than just websites though, right? I mean, like you really help investors get leads. And a lot of people wonder, like, is SEO dead? Can you really still get leads on websites from motivated sellers?
Yep.
What's your answer to that?
Yeah, so here it's kind of a multi-part answer. So the first thing is this: is any of the marketing that y'all do. If you're doing offline marketing, let's say it's direct mail or radio or TV or cold calling or text messaging or RVMs. If you're doing any of that, imagine what happens when someone gets that text message or cold call or the direct mail drop. What happens is they pick up their phone and they want to research it. Right? We're kind of in the age of research, so all of the marketing that y'all are doing right now creates online demand. It's causing people to Google search something related to the problem that they have or something related to the information that you sent out to them. So one thing that we found in our data quite a bit is the number 3 most visited web page across all of our websites, whether it's land or seller or buyer or agent. It's always the about page, right? It's where people want to
go there all the time.
Yeah, exactly. People want to land on the homepage and go, number one, I want to check the box. Does this company have a service that looks like they can solve my problem? That's what the homepage is for. And then number 2, they go kind of like, how does this thing work? And then number 3, like, well, do I want to work with these people? Who are they? That's where testimonials come in an about page. So that's the first answer is we're in the age of research. We're in the age of credibility. And if you're sending out direct mail pieces or any outbound marketing, that seller likely is getting something else from somebody else, or they see other options out there in their research. And it's your job to use that website to build up your credibility to close more leads. So a good example of this is an investor out of Oklahoma City. So Carter Steph, 1-800-2-SELL Homes, a big national brand now. They've started to franchise out their company. And they've had a site for years, but their main marketing was always offline. Right? It was always radio, TV, direct mail, things like that. And they have a big business. And so what happened was they were getting leads and closing deals from their website, but it was always trickle through from their offline marketing that created online demand. People searching their company name, searching their phone numbers, searching Carter's name because he was in some of the ads, seeing if they're legit. And once they kind of moved over to Carrot from their custom site and we dialed them in to stand out, they saw a doubling in their ROI from their offline marketing. So their leads doubled just from the same traffic they had. It started converting better. And then their lead to this is the cool thing about a website, Joe. Their lead to close ratio at that point more than doubled. So and that's just the content you're putting on the site. The next answer to your question is online and SEO relevant? Like, let's say we're looking for people who don't already know about us. They didn't get an offline marketing piece from us, and they're kind of seeking out a problem or a solution. In our data, we see every quarter online demand actually increases, right? As people get more and more comfortable with using these things. I think most of us go to Google first when we have a question. We go to Google first when we have a problem. When we need a pest control company, we often don't text our friends these days and say, who are you working with? We often go to Google and look it up and then maybe corroborate that with friends. And it's no different for sellers. I can show you some examples and also dig into some data, which is really cool right now as well.
Yeah, well, let's do that. I want to ask you another question real quick. By the way, we do have a lot of people on YouTube right now.
Sweet. What's up, Sammy?
Off Market Opportunities.
Awesome. What's up, guys?
Nick, Sterling, Sandra. Hey. Sorry, guys. It's just that StreamYard, which we're using right now, says 0 viewers. And I went to Facebook and we're not on Facebook. So I'm glad you guys are here. Really, I am. All right, Trevor, this is something that I know a lot of people are asked about. If I just get a site, my site's going to look like everybody else's site. So does it do any good still to have a website that looks like everybody else's?
Dude, good question. Really good question, man. And that's kind of one of the double-edged swords of where we are today in our business, right? We've been in business for 6 years now. And because we focus on performance and we focus on results, what happened was you start to see more and more of the top investors adopt our platform, right? And so if you were to Google sell my house fast, insert any city, or sell my land fast, insert any city, you're probably going to find somewhere between 3 and 8 Carrot sites controlling page 1 of Google, like every city in the country, which is a great thing because it works. But then also it brings up that objection of like, well, shoot, I don't want to look just like those other ones, but I still want to get a result, a good result. And so there's a couple of cool things that we rolled out just recently. Even we have more designs now. We have like 6 or 7 designs that are all based off of data and performance. They all convert really good. They load insanely fast. The next thing is, if you're looking for a different aesthetic, most of our clients just don't change the design of the website. And I can show some examples. You'll look at them and go, that's a carrot site. And we have a new visual website editor where it's like all drag and drop stuff. Everything's drag and drop in there. And that rolled out a month ago. Cool. And there's so many cool things that you can do now with the visual editor to make them stand out. So the short of it is, guys, go in and just really bring your personality in. Okay, the first thing is, whether you're using Carrot or any other platform, make sure that the website addresses the conversation going on in their mind. Hey, if they're a house seller that's going through a pain, or a land seller or a cash buyer, what is it that their desire is? You know, what's the problem that they have? Make sure that the content on the website addresses that problem. But then next, make sure that the website guides that prospect through the exact order of where they have questions or objections. So it's, first of all, hey, do they have a solution that can solve my problem? Next, it's how does this thing work? You know, next it's who are they and are they credible? And then next is how do I take action? And the last kind of piece of advice I'll give people, and we can show examples, whether you're a Carrot customer or not, you can take these examples and go execute them in your business to get better results. Is right now, especially y'all, the best way to stand out is by bringing you out front, is by putting out content that builds authority. And as the market gets more and more competitive, if you're a real estate investor, most investors offer essentially the same service, right? It's like they're showing up to a seller's house, or they're showing up online saying, hey, I can buy your house, I can pay cash, and I can close quickly. And if you're offering the fundamentally same unique selling proposition as everybody else, how do you stand out no matter what website system you use, right? And so there's a couple pieces of advice I'd give to people, especially right now in this market where it's really competitive. Is number one, can you offer something fundamentally different that solves their problem in a new and unique way? Well, go through Joe's training, right? He shows you guys how to do those things. He shows you guys how to come up there with a different solution to solve their problem in a different way than most other wholesalers or investors are. Right there, sloclass.com, guys, go through that, because that is going to give you another thing in your tool belt to show up with a fundamentally different offering. But number two, how do you make sure now that they feel more trust and believability in working with you? That's where having a good about page is important. You know, having your picture on there or a video on there. That's where getting good case studies and testimonials is really important. I'll show you a couple here, man, that are absolutely crushing it in Denver, which is one of the most competitive markets in the country. And I want to show this example of look at the way that their testimonials, y'all, versus most others, and who would you work with? And so that's the deal is yes, Carrot's going to give you a great start. Go through there and customize the visual with the designs, with the visual editor. But the most important thing is put in your unique spin to it and put content out that's unique to you. And I'll show you guys how to do that.
Very good. So let's talk about what you're seeing with COVID-19, everything that's going on right now. What's some data that you're seeing through your clients that you help and serve?
Dude, let me share my screen, because this is really, really cool right here.
And if you're listening to this on audio, I'll still repeat for you audio guys and gals what Trevor's talking about here.
Yes.
Is it working?
Yep. I'm sharing screen. Can you see me right now, Joe?
All right. I'm going to add it to the stream. Look at that.
Beautiful. So this and same thing. I'll explain it as good as I possibly can for those that don't have the visual of it. But if you don't have the visual of it, go over to Joe's YouTube channel and get the full visual, because there's some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
So one of the advantages that we've got is we have so much access to a broad set of data. Pretty much every market in the country, 7,000 agents or investors, mostly investors, and almost 100,000 leads a month when you include phone call leads. What I'm showing you guys here is just the web submits, like web form submits. Yeah. And so there's a couple kind of cool trends here that I'm going to show you, Joe, that are very specific to COVID that investors and agents can use right now to both know what's going on in the market, but number two, how do you adjust your marketing to stand out right now and win as the market kind of comes out of this COVID stuff. So the chart that you guys are seeing right here, and this is directly from our Google Analytics. So this is all the traffic that's coming to our clients' websites since March 1st through today. So the time that we're recording, this is April 29th, right here, or that's the data set is through April 29th. And you can see way over here, so that's March 1st, and then way over here is today. Okay, so right there's the 28th, which was Tuesday, and that's the last full day of data that we got. The 29th, of course, is right now. And so what you guys will find is, first of all, this isn't related to COVID, but it's an interesting piece of data. Is those of you watching the video of this part is sessions. And sessions is just essentially people that landed on our clients' websites. This could be buyers, it could be sellers. The majority of this are sellers. Probably 60 to 70% of this traffic is motivated house sellers or land sellers. And you can see there's a trend here. Every week there's an up and down. Now this is not related.
That's a weekly chart that's going up and down straight across.
Exactly. And so you'll find that there's always more demand from sellers and buyers online. They're actually seeking out and searching solutions at the start of the week. So your Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, always Monday, Tuesday is always the peak time when people are looking. Except for that one. That was weird. That was Wednesday. Let's see if this one. That's Tuesday. We got another Tuesday. And why is that important? Well, it's important because if we know that that's when your most motivated buyers and sellers are searching, how can you make sure that you're serving up marketing messages in front of them when they're actively looking for it on your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays? Now, it doesn't mean that they're not looking on Sunday, right? Because you can even look down here where the bottom of the valley is there. There's still over 32,000 sellers and buyers that hit our websites on Sunday, March 8th, right? Yeah. So the majority of people are searching every day, but you just see spikes on your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. So if you're doing cold calls, if you're doing things like that, test to see if a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday will get better results. People might ask, well, why is it? Why is there the spike? And I'll kind of walk through a couple things. So especially for a house seller or someone that is in distress with the property that they're looking to sell, it could be a piece of land as well. Oftentimes they still want to use their weekends to enjoy life, right? They kind of want to check out during the weekend, and then Monday starts to roll around and that problem becomes front and center, and they really want to solve it. Right. So start to test putting out some of your marketing message on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But directly related to COVID, what you guys see here is this. So right here, and I'm going to be verbalizing here, right around the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th is when the first stay-at-home orders really started to hit around the country. That's where California, Oregon, Washington, they all started to hit between the 10th and the 15th. And so we saw on our clients' websites about a 10% dip in overall traffic for 2 to 3 weeks after that. So you can see about 10% of the traffic, buyers and sellers, they kind of said, hey, we're not sure what's going on. We're going to kind of pull back some of our activities, probably just trying to figure out what the heck is happening, and how do we cope with it as a family. But here's the cool thing. After that initial shock of those first 2 weeks where traffic dipped, traffic got back up to normal, and now it's actually over where it was. More sellers, more buyers are seeking out solutions online than before the COVID stuff even happened.
So it's an upward trending chart, even though it's going up and down on weekends, but it's trending up.
It's trending up, and here's the important thing there. I know there's a lot of negativity in the news media. There's a lot of things out there that talk about why things are not going good, but here this data shows you your buyers and sellers are still looking for solutions. And so your clients will hit us up and say, hey, Trevor, my Google ads have been converting way less, or my cost per lead is higher during this phase. I'm going to show you guys why on the other side and what to do about it with your marketing, how to change some of your messaging to make it stand out even better. So over here on the right side now, so the left side of this graph is people and sessions, is people that are actually landing on these websites, buyers and sellers. Over here is conversions. And once again, these are mostly sellers. Conversions is what conversion percentage or from the people that landed on those websites, which ones actually submitted their information on the web form as a full lead. And you can see here the stay-at-home orders hit right here, right around that same time that your 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. And conversions didn't just take a 10% dip. They actually took about a 20 to 25% dip, Joe. So as soon as stay-at-home orders hit, conversion percentage, conversion rate got knocked about 25% down. Now, still the majority of people are still filling out the forms. Okay, it didn't cut conversions in half or 75%. It bumped them down about 25%. And people might be saying, well, why is that? Does that mean I should shut my marketing off? The high level is what we found from talking with sellers and just really digging into more data. is many sellers and buyers too, they still have the problem, right? Over on the left side, it shows you demand is actually increasing during this time. But conversions decreased because people just aren't sure what to do. Like, do I want to fill out this information and have someone come in my house? I don't know if I want someone to come in my house right now during this COVID stuff. I don't even know where I would move. Can I even move anywhere if my state is in a stay-at-home order? And so you've got an increased demand for sellers and buyers right now. You've got a slightly decreased demand in people filling out the information. So there's this gap right now. People still have the demand, but some of them are holding off on submitting the information. Now, here's the opportunity: is some real estate investors that I've talked to, even really experienced ones, are trimming back some of their paid marketing budget because they're getting more clicks. And I'll show you guys some PPC data here in a second. They're getting more clicks. Okay, PPC traffic is actually even increasing right now, but their conversion rate is lower because some of the people are holding back. And so their cost per lead has gone up a little bit, and some of them are starting to pull out of Google ads and even some Facebook ads. And that's the worst thing you should do. The thing that you need to be doing right now is getting your message in front of these prospects more than ever. You need to be getting content in front of them and adjust the top of your website so it says something about COVID. You know, really address it on the top of your website, whether you're going after land or house sellers, and specifically say, hey, we understand the times are crazy, but we are still buying houses right now. We're still making offers. If you're in a market where there's a lot of iBuyers, all 4 of the major iBuyers stopped buying right now. They'll come back, but they're not buying right now. And so there's this void in some markets like Raleigh, North Carolina. 7.8% of all homes sold in 2019 were from iBuyers. So in that market, you know, upwards of 7 to 10% of the whole houses that iBuyers would have been buying right now are on the market for investors and agents to now serve those sellers. And so right now, buy those eyeballs with ads, get in front of those eyeballs with content, but build trust and credibility and say, hey, we're local. We didn't bail, even though the iBuyers have stopped buying locally. We didn't bail because we're local. We understand the market. We want to serve you, not just when it's convenient for us to make a profit, but when we're here to help serve you. And lastly, and I'll toss back over to you, Joe, is it's really important right now, y'all, to create content. What's Joe doing? Joe's been putting out a lot of great content because he's getting in front of the market. He's building trust and expertise. He's building authority. So now when you guys have something that you're needing that Joe can solve, you're going to reach out to him because he is your authority. You're seeing the content. And our most successful real estate investors that are doing this right now are putting out content. They're putting out videos on Facebook that are retargeting videos from their ads or from their organic traffic on their website, that even though conversion rate's down, now I'm going to follow you over to Facebook with a good series of videos. Hey, do you still need to sell your house during Corona? Hey, here's how we've changed our process during the coronavirus to keep you safe and healthy. And then you're going to be in front of them in 4 weeks and 6 weeks and 8 weeks with retargeting ads. So when they're ready, you've already built trust and authority, and you're going to win the business rather than somebody else.
That's really good. Do you have examples of, do you still want to share your screen there?
I'm just going to show this one last thing here, Joe, because at the very start you asked about is SEO dead, right? Is getting organic leads dead?
Right. Yeah.
And so this graph kind of dives through this. So this direct thing here, a lot of that you just don't really know how Google comes up with it. Sometimes it's literally people putting in the actual URL, but most of our data has shown, and we've corroborated with others, that sometimes up to half is actually organic searches that they're lumping together into a direct bucket. But let's go down here now. So organic searches in this time period, over 400,000 people have landed on these websites. Paid search is about the same, 435,000. Social, there's a lot of social media action going on. But now let's look over here. So if we look at conversion rate, so
by the way, it would have paid Facebook ad driving to your website show up in social, or would that be paid search?
That'd be paid search. Yeah.
Okay.
So anything
even on a paid Facebook ad.
Correct. Yep. Okay. Anything on a paid Facebook ad. So this right here is from a social share or someone clicking a link in there versus an ad. And it all gets passed our way from like referral IDs. So we pick up whatever the referral ID is that can go their way. So here's the interesting thing here. So if you want to look at the quality of those lead sources, okay. If you're looking at paid, so paid search here, this right here would be your Googles. This right here could be some Facebook ads. And like you said, maybe they are lumping some of it into social. I'll have to corroborate that and just make sure. But on average, your organic search, so someone who does a Google search, they're actively seeking out a problem. or solution for their problem, they convert sometimes almost 3 times more, almost 300% more than a paid or a social media type of lead.
Yeah. So if you're looking at the graph here, the organic search conversions are 3 to 4 times higher than the paid search conversions.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. And these percentages, people, if you are kind of adept to conversion optimization stuff, you guys might be looking at these percentages and going, man, 5%, my website converts at 20. So if we were to actually only gauge the conversion rate on a landing page or the home pages of our systems that's really built for conversion, you're going to find a much higher percentage. That percentage there is literally any traffic that came from any source that landed on any page, including a random blog post that they stumbled on. What percentage of those people that land on any page, any traffic source, any time convert into a lead within the first couple visits, which is cool. So let me show a couple examples for sure. So let me pull up this here. Where are we at here? Okay. So let me pull up Denver property flip. And this is something here that I want to show you guys. I think you guys should be able to, are you seeing Denver property flip come up right now?
I still see your analytics.
Okay. Let me reshare this puppy. 1 second on it.
By the way, while you're pulling that up, we've got a few more people that say, hey, I'm here, Joe. Like Sean. What's up, Sean?
What's up, guys?
Jai. Glad you guys are here. I'm still not on Facebook yet, but we're on YouTube.
Hey, dude.
That's all that matters. YouTube is all that matters. Who cares about Facebook?
So, dude, here's something I want to show you guys. So this is a carrot site. Now they crammed it with a bunch of words and stuff like this, right?
Very customized. This looks very unique and different, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does quite a bit. And I'll show you some ones that look even more different and convert really well as well. The main reason I wanted to show this one is less the design, it's more the content. Because in Denver's a really competitive market. And this guy is closing leads into deals at a much higher rate than our average client in anywhere, but also in Denver. This guy also is getting his leads and deals at a much lower cost than most anyone else in Denver with our data. And you start to look at that and go like, why is it? And so at the beginning of this call, I talked about, especially in this environment where we need to stand out, we can't just say, hey, we buy houses, we pay cash, close quickly. Everybody says that. It's like if Walmart and Costco and all of them had the exact same value proposition, the exact same slogan, if they all had the exact same products, how would you really know when to go to Costco versus Walmart versus the local mom and pop? You wouldn't, right? So they all have different value propositions. And one thing that he's done in his market, and this is something we've been advocating for years, Joe, and we're seeing it more and more, is the industry is coming together. Like you have the retail side on one side and you have the wholesale side on the other. And they've been very, very separate for years. And now with the iBuyers kind of coming in the middle and this massive inefficiency happening in the real estate transaction, where if you were to ask, 100 out of 100 home sellers, would they rather list their house on the market and do all that requires for that? Or would they rather get a fair cash offer? I think 100 out of 100 would say they'd rather get a fair cash offer. They don't want to go through the traditional process. The traditional process is broken. The only reason that most houses sell through the traditional process is because it's more mainstream, and that's where they can usually get the most money for their transaction if they're willing to wait, right? So what this guy did is he came up with a different value prop. He said, I'm going to guarantee I can pay you the most money. I'm going to guarantee we pay more than any other investor in the market, and we're going to put more cash in your pocket than anybody. And so if you put a message out there that shows this, man, it really stands out, right? Get a cash offer in under 24 hours for full market value without doing a single repair. Why can we pay more than other Denver area investors? Learn why we can offer $20,000 to $30,000 more than everyone else for your house. When you start to see this as a seller versus the traditional, hey, we'll buy your house, this is a fundamentally different value prop. You're going to reach out.
Here's the cool thing. It's got a picture in the background of a moving truck.
Mm-hmm.
Most people have pictures of a beat up house or a junky, ugly house or something like that. But I like that. It's a picture of a moving truck.
Exactly. And here's a couple things I'll point out here. And this is something that you guys can all do. And I'll show a couple other examples and answer some questions if you guys want. But the big thing here is this, guys, is his offering is fundamentally different. He has a real estate agent license and he's got an agent on staff. So if the person wants retail, he truly is able to serve them. He doesn't throw those leads away. So that enables him to pay more for his marketing and outbid his competitors when he needs to, because he's able to profit more from every lead. Number two, he goes in there and he does offer a cash offer like a traditional investor would, or he might do creative types of deals like you guys do very often. But he comes in with a third offer that he calls a fix and list. And in a market that's really hot, he goes in there with his money, with his construction crew, and he says, well, this house, could list in the market for $300,000 and it could sell pretty quick. But if we were able to put $25,000 into this, fixing the kitchen up and this, we believe it could sell really fast for $375,000. And what we're willing to do is we'll put in the $25K to fix it up. I'll bring my crew in. We'll put a lien on the home, and then we'll split the extra. We'll split that extra $50,000 down the middle after I get my money back, and then we'll take the 3% on the normal on the upfront $300,000 that you normally would have sold it for. And so this seller's looking at this going, man, so you're going to put money in to fix my house for me. You're going to bring the construction crew in, and you're going to pay me an extra $25,000 than I would have made if I just list this with an agent. And he's like, yeah. And so if you're landing on this site, look at this. You'll think it seems too good to be true, but it's actually better than it seems. And he's got a video. We ended up getting an extra $30,000 in the end, and they risked their money. I got $15,000 more for selling with Denver Property Flip. It was sold for more than it was worth. If you start to look at this versus the traditional site that just talks about a cash offer, you're going to look at this and go, man, I need to work with them. Let me show you a couple more examples. So this is Gabriel Garcia. Gabriel's had a custom site for a while, and then with the COVID stuff, they put a COVID bar at the top in their carrot side that essentially says, "Hey, we're still buying properties," and then it links to a blog post below. And they're in Florida. They've had a custom site for years. It's always been ranking well, but it just didn't. The page speed wasn't as fast as it should have been. All kinds of stuff like that. And so, same thing when you're trying to stand out in this market. How do you make it so it's not just you get a cash offer? Well, bring in credibility, bring in testimonials, bring in a lot more of that stuff. Talk about how you really impact your community, what's unique to you guys. So they talk about their community impact. And then this is all done on a carrot site, man. So
and that site does not look like your typical carrot site.
No, this is all done on a carrot site. But the big thing is make it yours, right? Have a great about page. Let me show one more. So this is a land one. This one here doesn't have a lot of customization on it. They threw a new picture in there. Express Land Offers is a national land buying company, and they have a ton of leads in here. So if we were to show this right here, over 1,000 sellers have submitted in the past year and a half to have an offer on their piece of property through this website.
How many in the last year?
Over 1,000.
Wow.
Right here, 1,100 sellers have submitted. And the majority of it's organic SEO. And I'll kind of show you guys how. So if I was in Oregon and I was to type sell my land fast Oregon, which that might be one of those things I might type if I'm looking to sell. You can see some people bidding for these up here. So these people are paying to be here. And then there's someone that's got a website there. And then there's this one here, and there's other ones down here. So that's a carrot site there. And then this is the Express Land Offers. They're ranked number 2 in Google for Oregon, but then you look at every other state that they're in too, they're ranked really high in Google for all the states that they're in. And they just popped in, updated some photos, got a good video in there, builds credibility. Use our land buying guide that's already in there, and just really started to plow in how can we add more and more credibility to this site and leverage Carrot's high performance. So you can see they built out location pages for every market that they're in, and they're bringing in, tons and tons and tons of land leads.
Excellent.
For sure. I could show sites all day long, but what I'd love to do is if there's any questions people have on what you guys can do right now, I'll give you a very clear action plan right now on exactly what you guys can do content wise. So the first thing I would do is don't cut your marketing off. Okay. Your marketing is your lifeblood. And with real estate, what happens is, of course, oftentimes it's a 30 to 90, 30 to 120 day delay in your pipeline. So the marketing you're doing today is what creates your pipeline 30, 60, 90 days out. And so if there are investors out there saying, oh man, I'm kind of nervous, or my cost per lead's going up a little bit, I'm gonna cut that down or cut it off. What's going to happen is you're going to cut off your potential for earning in 30, 60, 90 days. The next thing is the investors that are able to keep content in front of people the next 2 to 4 weeks, the next 2 to 6 weeks during this coronavirus stuff. Our data already showed you guys. Our data showed you demand is actually up. More people are searching. More sellers are searching. Conversion's down, which is going to drive your cost per lead up in some respects. Sometimes, not always. Okay, so that doesn't mean cut it down. It doesn't mean people don't want my service. It means they're not ready to act now. Some of them are. So that's where we create 3 simple videos and put them on Facebook for retargeting. The first video is a very short video you could even do with your cell phone. That's literally, hey, I'm Trevor with XYZ Home Buyers, and we understand you probably want to sell your house right now in the Phoenix market, but you're not sure, can you sell it during the coronavirus stuff? Well, I'm going to walk you through how we're still buying houses in our process, how we protect you and the health of your family, and da 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 da. And one of those things could be that you let them move. You'll let them move when this is all over. You'll let them stay in the house until whatever it is, July, or like whatever it is. Okay, create a piece of content that does that. The next thing that I would do is get some content that is related to credibility and testimonials. So if you have done deals, either get those videos from your case studies, like the Denver property flip guy, and start to put those, like put these into your Facebook retargeting campaigns. So now if someone has landed on your site, they might not be converting as much a higher rate, but they're going to see your videos over on Facebook for the next 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And by the time they're ready to sell, they're like, man, I've been seeing Eric in front of me a lot, and he seems like a great dude, and he solves their problem. I'm going to reach out to him. And so what we predict, Joe, is going back to data. We predict once all the stay-at-home orders soften or lift, that conversion is actually going to pop. I predict it's going to go up higher than it normally is. Then it's going to level back down to normal. And so if you guys are not getting content in front of people right now and putting up blog posts specific to COVID on your website, we've got our automated content system that has automated articles right there inside of our system.
Talk about how that works, would you? Automated, because I've been interested in this as well. Automated content, what?
Yeah, for sure. So let me show you this really quick. So as an example, let's see, selling a house.
Again, guys, if you want to see this video and what we're talking about, if you're listening to this podcast, I'll describe kind of what we're seeing here. But if you want to, go to my YouTube channel. Just go to the YouTube and type in Joe McCall, and ignore all of the bad videos you see about me. Just kidding. And then, but look for this podcast here, and you'll see it. And do a search for the word Trevor, and you'll see this video I'm doing right now with Trevor.
Cool, I love it. So one thing that's happening for sure is there's people like this gal here. Let me find it here. Your Stanley Cruz Real Estate. So even during COVID-19, number one, if people are landing on your website from your offline marketing, you need to give them comfort that you're still able to sell or help them buy their house. Number two, what about the people that are searching right now to go, hey, can I actually still buy or sell a home during the COVID stuff? And so the way that you're going to stand out, y'all, is with content, right? The winners in a cluttered market are the ones who are authorities. They're the ones who are building authority. You are seen as the person that is not just an expert, but a person that is the authority in your localized market. And the only way to build authority is with content. Like I'll pay someone $100 today if you guys know of another way to build authority other than content. It's either like this content Joe and I are doing, where we're putting out something to one to many. It could be you sitting across the coffee shop table from somebody, which you can't do right now, right? That stuff we used to be able to do a month ago, you can't do right now. So online is the spot where you put content out. And so this gal here, Shamika Fox, she's like going crazy with this in a good way. She's doing a daily video with a system we call Video Post on how they're doing shelter in place in Santa Cruz. And she's starting to get Google rankings for some of this stuff. And all that she's doing is this. She pulls up her camera, and you guys don't have to do shelter in place stuff. You could do whatever topics, but she pulls up her camera, does a 3 to 8 minute video, uploads it to YouTube. Okay, so this one's a 9-minute video, and that's fine. The reason I say 3 to 8 minutes is the average person speaks 120 to 160 words a minute. If you want to have something rank well in Google where your best prospects are searching, Google wants to see the blog post be at least 500 to 800 words in order to be enough robust content to give it a chance to rank. And so if you take a video instead of writing, like I don't like writing, but I can shoot a quick video.
Yeah.
You take the video, you yank all the words out of the video. Now a 5-minute video is an 800-word article. A 3-minute video is a 500-word article, kind of puts you in the sweet spot. This one here, a 9-minute video, is going to be probably a 12 or 1,300-word article.
Now, is she telling these people on the video too, hey, if you want a house to sell, if you have a house you want to sell, go here?
On some of them. So her biggest thing right now is to try to get in front of people, because she's amazing at Facebook. So she gets people over here, she pixels them, and then she delivers them her ads for her niche based videos on, hey, I'm great at this neighborhood as an agent, I'm great at this, or here's how to do this. So some of them she does say that, but some of these too she's really not. But right here it does say you're Santa Cruz real estate expert. This is more kind of branding, and then she can follow them back over on Facebook. But what she's doing then is she's submitting these to our system called Video Post. And so what Video Post does is you take one of these videos, and let me find one that she did with the local business owner, because this applies to investors too, y'all. So this one here, Adam Brower of EKM Metering. So rather than her sitting down and writing content, which content is the way you stand out and build authority in your local market, she did a Zoom video with Adam. She submitted it to our feature called Video Post, which automatically takes your YouTube video, yanks all the words out of the video.
Wow.
Transcribes it and makes an article for you and sends you an email and says, here, your article is ready. And so she's creating 1 to 2 of these a day right now. And even if you were to like Google this dude's name and his company's name, so if you're looking for his company, and if you're a real estate agent, this is a great strategy. If you're an investor, it works as well. Guys, she's ranked number 2 in Google behind his own LinkedIn page. And then her YouTube video for it is ranked number 3. So all she did was created a 5-minute video with him. I guess this one's 12. She had it transcribed automatically through our Video Post feature. Clicked publish. It was done. And she's taking over that ranking for his company name, which is awesome. Let me show you another example here. I'll show you Grand Realty. So Grand Investments. This guy's an investor agent. He's an investor agent out of Eugene, Oregon. He's doing really, really well. And so he's gone through, customized his site. He does a similar type of model that Eric does, where he talks about, I can buy it with a cash offer, I can do a fix and list, or I'm an agent. And he does really, really well there. But he started to create content. I don't know if he's got blog posts up here, but let me go check out his Facebook page, because he took our advice and he said, okay, I'm gonna start to create pieces of video content that talk about what's happening in the market. I'm gonna put them up as ads, and I'm gonna put them in the carrot system for content that starts to get ranked well in Google for my best prospects. Let me see if I can see the one that he did the other day. Let's see. Yeah, this one right here. So he did a piece of content, video content on, hey, Zillow is not buying now. Zillow stops buying in Portland, Oregon. Local cash home buyers are still buying. This one video has over 141 views, posted 3 weeks ago. That kind of stuff is going to help you guys stand out and build authority.
Realtors, don't you agree with this sometimes, Trevor? Like, realtors understand this a lot better than investors do.
Yep.
There's a few things that realtors do better than investors. One of them is content marketing.
Yep.
And because these real estate, realtor coaches and brokerages, and they're always harping on this, get out there in social media, create content. And I think this is something a lot of investors need to start learning how to do themselves. Because you may think, oh, I'm only going to get 100 views. Mm-hmm. That's significant, and that stuff grows. It can go out there. You can repurpose this content. You might put it on Facebook, but you can then put it on YouTube. When that grows, you turn it into articles, put them on your blog. As you start building an email list, you could even start emailing sellers the new videos that you're creating and stuff like that. So this is important stuff, really important.
Love it. And I'll show one more thing, man, and then I'll toss it back to you. So that one thing that I showed you there is one way to create easy, simple content that you can repurpose into YouTube, which, like I showed you before with Shamika's, her YouTube videos ranked number 3 in Google for that guy's company name, which is cool. But then how you can put it into our Video Post feature, which creates written articles for you without you having to write the content yourself. And then number 3, another way that you can create content easily right now, and at the very least, if you're a carrot customer, this is already here. You can schedule these up if you're on the Content Pro or Advanced Marketer plan. If you're not a carrot customer, though, go away and write an article right now around COVID. So here's a couple here. Can you still sell your house during the coronavirus pandemic in Roseburg, Oregon? And so our system takes this article, it spins it, puts your city in there, makes all the alt tags and everything, dialed in for your city, puts your company in there, puts your phone number in there, puts a call to action at the bottom, all that stuff. And so this article here is actually getting ranked in Google for some people. Now, people might ask, well, what if it's the same article as 14 other people in my city? Usually the first person that publishes it is kind of going to get the edge if no one edits their content. But what our best clients do is, instead of investing an hour or two into researching a content topic and writing it and publishing it, they'll come in here and use this to go, cool, I'm going to use this. I'm going to spend 10 minutes going in here, adjusting the content a little bit, adding a paragraph of my own, adding my own picture, and I'm going to schedule it up. And then that helps you really stand out. So you took your content marketing from an hour or two down to less than 10 to 15 minutes. But
Right.
this right here is something people are posting on Facebook. Some of them are getting it ranked in Google really, really well for that phrase. Can you still sell your home during coronavirus in Eugene, Oregon? Things like that. So you can just automate these bad boys up in our system weekly. You pick a content pack, whether it's COVID related or not, and go, cool. Just schedule up one article a week. Our system spins it for you. You can go in there and edit them up and tweak them if you want to, and start to build that authority and build that content. I'll show you one last example of how that's powerful, and then we'll wrap this puppy. So there's a client of ours named House Heroes, and House Heroes, they are really, really good at what we teach here. There's the ad stuff we're looking at. So let me go look at this. Sell my land. So if you're to Google just straight up sell my land, okay, which is very generic, very broad. The number one organic result in Google for sell my land, because the way that our system is set up and it gives you an advantage with SEO, is a carrot site. Now, I don't know if these are, I could click them and see that is a carrot site because I can see the icon. Other ones in here are likely carrot sites as well. That's something that we're just really good at. So now let's go here. Let's click this. So this takes directly to a page on their website set up on our system, and they've got their own COVID-19 banner up here, making people comfortable. Hey, we are still buying. That's bumping up their conversion rate. But then people come in here, they see this big long piece of content, they see the credibility, they learn that they can sell their land. They went in here and modified their content. Now, how is this producing results? Let's go ahead and take a look at how this is producing results. So House Heroes buys houses and they buy land. Now, this is a view that you guys wouldn't see normally. It's a view that I can see because I own the company. But this right here, this one, over 4,000, almost 5,000 leads. I think that's their land lead one. This one right here is land. So over the past 2.5 years, 2,400 land sellers have submitted on that form. 2,400. This year, of the 2,400, this is the step 2 form. Of the 2,400, 2,308 of them filled out more and gave more information about their property than just the property address, phone, and email. Yeah. So like 90% said, let me give you even more information about it because I want to sell this a lot. Now let's pop over here to stats and show you guys where this is coming from. So number one, they used our system to get it ranked high in Google, make it convert well. There's a lot of factors why it ranks high. Let's pop over here and look at the last 30 days. And what you'll find, Joe, is a good hunk of the traffic is actually coming from blog posts. It's actually coming from not their homepage. So you can see 128 leads, land seller leads in the past 30 days through that one page from that Google search. So does Google search still work? Yeah, a lot. So it just refreshed. That was old data. So here we go. So 87 leads through that page. Right here, this is interesting. So how to sell a home with unpermitted construction. How to sell a home with unpermitted construction. So my guess is all that traffic is coming from people going to Google, typing up how to sell a home with unpermitted construction. It didn't pull in a lot of leads, but now they're able to retarget those people back on Facebook and capture those leads. This right here, a blog post, selling an inherited property with siblings. It's got leads in the past 30 days. Right here, selling a house by owner in Florida. The do's and don'ts of selling vacant land. That got 9 leads in the past 30 days. So we can just keep on going on and on. But here's another one, tax tips when selling a house in Florida. So these are types of phrases most investors aren't even trying to compete against. They're trying to compete with your we buy houses, we buy land, sell my house fast, sell land fast. And these guys are going after the more drilled down phrases that are easier to rank for, that you just create content with using our system, that also are way higher quality leads. Like these people are going to convert at a way higher rate. This article they wrote 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, is ranked #1 in Google for the phrase tax tips when selling a house in Florida. And this generates leads almost every month for them through their Carrot platform. These guys close tons and tons of deals. So I'll shut up and toss it back your way, man.
All right, so let's summarize this, wrap it up. Bottom line, what are the tips that you advise to people, Trevor, in this market on how to reach more homeowners, just who want to sell their house, or buyers who want to buy a house? What are some of the highlight points would you summarize this with in terms of creating content and changing your message?
Yep, for sure. The first one here that I want to toss out, guys, is no matter what marketing you're doing, if you're doing direct mail, cold calling, adjust your messaging. So rather than sending out the exact same direct mail piece you're normally sending out, adjust your copy on it so it says how to sell your house during coronavirus. Is it still safe to sell it? How to get a cash offer during COVID-19, but move out when it's all over. So adjust your messaging on everything, including the top of your site, because you've seen people are searching more and more, but they're have a lower aptitude to take the action because they're not sure what they should do. They don't want people coming in their house right now. So change the messaging. Number two is with that, make sure you guys are doing some sort of remarketing or retargeting, because when you're grabbing that attention, because the conversion rate is a little bit lower, get content over onto Facebook that they're going to see every time they go to Facebook for the next 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks. So when they're ready, you're the expert. They saw your short video that said, hey, you're here in Tampa and you might be considering selling your house, but you're wondering, can I sell it right now? Or is it safe to sell it? Well, I'm going to walk you through in a 4-minute video on Facebook on how to do that. And I'm going to drive you to our website. So that's number two, is adjust your marketing message. Number two is get retargeting ads up in front of them. A couple simple videos, y'all. Number three is, as you're moving forward, whether it's COVID-19 or not, the market's going to get tighter. It's going to get a little bit tougher. And the ones who are going to win, the ones who we're seeing are building the most predictable, consistent businesses, are the ones that are using content. Because now not everyone is saying the same thing. It's not just, hey, I'll buy your house, I'll pay cash, I'll close quickly. Yeah, we do all that. But let me show you some extra context and how we're an authority in this so we stand out versus the others. And the only way to build authority is by putting out consistent content. That last thing is, now, how do you put it out? Well, that's your choice. If you love writing, that House Heroes guy, he loves writing. So he sits down and writes long articles, and he uses our content automation to do extra stuff. Shamika and myself, I love videos. I don't want to write. So I just take out my camera and record a 3 to 8 minute video every week and upload it to YouTube, get it onto Carrot, and give myself a better chance to rank. So put out content every week, guys. It's going to help you stand out as the market gets tighter.
Good. It's a long-term investment, but it reaps long-term rewards.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Something really important I got to talk about here.
Yep.
John posted this comment. Hey, Joe, whatever happened to the park rangers in your backyard? Okay. I was doing a podcast, or I forget what happened. But I was out with my wife. My kids were at home. All of a sudden they text us. We just wanted to get out of the house. And we don't care if we have to sit in line for 45 minutes at Starbucks in the drive-thru. We're going to get a coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden my kids text me Dad, there's 3 park rangers in our backyard. So we back to a state park. And I was like, what? So we race home. And then by the time we get here, they're gone.
Yeah.
And they give us a business card and call us oh my gosh, what's going on? So I told my podcast about it, or my videos or something like that. And now people are asking me, what happened? I don't know what happened. I called the lady back and she's not returned my call. And I'm kind of relieved. I don't want to know. Me and my boys and my girls, we did kind of cut a trail through the thick, heavy underbrush into the state park. Yep. So maybe she saw our trail and was wondering what did you guys do? It's just this really bad invasive species of huckleberry, or not huckleberry, honey. Oh, I can never remember the name of it. It's this really thick, heavy underbrush that we had to cut through. So anyway, those of you wondering, this is not even have anything to do with what we were talking about with our guest, Trevor. Whatever
happened with the park rangers, that's awesome.
Okay. So cool. We don't know. Nothing's happened yet. And I'm kind of glad. Anyway, so guys, if you want to get more information about Trevor and what they're doing over at Carrot, go check out joelikescarrots.com. And they have an amazing service. And I know a lot of people get tripped up on this, but I want to just remind you again, don't think that your website has to look like everybody else's. All right. There are a lot of different themes and templates that you can use. You can get in there and customize it and make it look different in your own. That's a big thing to remember. And number two, what was it? I was going to say, oh yeah. Carrot has a lot of extra services that you can utilize to help you create content and to update it. And they have really world-class education on how to bring leads to your website, whether it's organic traffic or paid traffic or content through social media and all of that stuff. They have really, really good training that can help you learn how to do that stuff better. So go check it out, joelikescarrots.com. I would be recommending them even if I didn't know Trevor, because it's just a great company. It's a great service. The guys have been doing this 6 years now. Is that right, Trevor?
It's crazy, man. Yeah, we started at the start of 2014.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good. I'm glad you've been on the show. Thank you so much. Any parting final words, Trevor?
Man, I think the biggest thing, guys and gals, is continue to follow Joe, because as we go into whatever this market becomes over the next 3, 6, 10, 12 months, you've got to get creative with the way you're doing deals. And one of the things I've loved about Joe and all the content he's always put out is it's always creative ways to do the deals. It's usually not the cut and dry, the same thing that everyone else is doing. And so you've got to adopt those methods. Go grab the lease option book, go grab all that stuff that he's got, because it's going to help you show up to that seller's house, being able to solve their problem in a unique way that your competitor might not be able to. So Keep following Joe. Thank you, man.
Thank you. And JF, thank you very much. It's honeysuckle. Have you ever heard of honeysuckle? Do you have that in Oregon?
We do, man. We don't have any on the property, but it smells amazing when you walk by it. But it is pretty
stupid, obnoxious. It like creates and then they got these vines that climb up the trees and kill the trees, and you can't see the trees even because there's honeysuckles going through there.
Yep. That's
so awesome. Anyway, all right. Hey guys, go check out joelikescarrots.com. Thank you, Trevor, for being on the show. You're a good friend. Appreciate everything that you're doing for the industry. Keep up the good work, man.
Thank you, man. Likewise, guys. Have an amazing rest of the week, and reach out if there's anything we can help with. Tons of free content. We have an entire
podcast.
Yeah, dude, we have a good podcast, and we have an entire series actually that I've been doing every week since COVID started. Every Friday morning, I publish a new podcast talking exactly how to not just wade through this COVID situation, but actually how to come out even stronger. So just Carrot Cast. You can look up the Carrot Cast and look up that whole COVID series. I talk about exact types of content to do, exactly what to do with your paid marketing right now, exactly what to adjust, and some mindset shifts as well to help you guys come out of this even stronger. Check it out.
Nice. Thank you, Trevor.
Thank you, man.
Go check out Carrot Cast. This is Trevor's podcast. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. See ya.